Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to explain Git hooks. And you know why this matters? Because most developers rely on manual checklists before pushing code, which inevitably leads to human error. This one concept allows you to automate your code quality checks, enforce commit message standards, and prevent broken code from ever leaving your local machine. Think about the last time you pushed code only to have your build server reject it because of a missing semicolon or a linting error. That is exactly the problem. You are wasting time in a feedback loop that should have happened on your own laptop before the code ever left your machine. Without hooks, you are manually hoping that you ran all your tests, updated your documentation, and formatted your code correctly. But humans are bad at consistency. Automation is the only way to guarantee it. So what is a Git hook exactly? Think of Git hooks as internal triggers. When you perform a Git action, like committing or pushing, Git looks inside a hidden folder in your repository to see if there is a script waiting to run. If there is, it executes that script. It is exactly like a security checkpoint at an airport. It doesn't matter how fast you are or how much you want to push your code to the server. If the checkpoint script finds a problem, it stops the process entirely. This forces you to fix the issue before you can move forward. Before we dive into the setup, let's make sure your environment is ready. You need Git installed on your system. Whether you are on Ubuntu, macOS, or Windows, open your terminal or Git bash and run the command git -- version. If you see a version number, you are all set. You do not need administrator or sudo access for local hooks, as these scripts reside inside your repository's hidden directory. Just make sure you are comfortable using a command line interface to navigate your file system. Take a moment to review each point shown on screen. How does this work internally? When you run a command like git commit, Git pauses its internal logic. It immediately checks the hidden directory for a hook matching that event. If the script exists and is executable, Git hands over control to the script. Only if the script finishes with an exit code of 0 will Git allow the commit to proceed. This creates a synchronous gatekeeper for your version control workflow. To start using hooks, you need to find where they live. Every Git repository has a hidden folder called .git. Inside that, there is a directory named hooks. Navigate to your project and run the list command on that directory as shown on screen. You will see several files ending in .sample. These are example templates provided by Git to help you understand the syntax. Let's create a real pre-commit hook. We will write a simple script that prevents us from committing code with trailing whitespace. On line 1, we specify the shell interpreter. On lines 3 through 5, we run a git diff command that checks for whitespace errors in the files we have staged. If the command succeeds, we print a success message and exit with 0, which tells Git the commit is allowed. If it fails, we print an error and exit with 1, which blocks the commit entirely. Perfect. Now, when you try to commit with bad formatting, the script runs automatically. Git stops the commit process instantly and displays the error message we defined in our script. You are now prevented from polluting your history with dirty code. In a production environment, you want more than just linting. A senior engineer would use hooks to ensure unit tests pass before a commit is finalized. Notice we call the npm test command here. If the test suite returns a non-zero exit code, the hook aborts the commit. This ensures that every single commit in your repository is guaranteed to be in a passing state. This is exactly how elite teams maintain high velocity without breaking builds. When your tests pass, the output clearly shows the test runner's success. Git then proceeds to complete the commit. This provides immediate, automated feedback to the developer, saving hours of debugging later. So what is the most common mistake? The permission denied error. This happens because your new script file is not marked as executable by the operating system. Even if the code inside is perfect, Git will ignore it or fail to run it if the executable bit is not set. To fix this, you need to use the change mode command. By running the command shown on screen with the +X flag, you grant the execute permission to the file. Without this, your hook is just a regular text file that Git cannot touch. Consider a logistics tracking platform handling 10,000 shipments per hour. Their developers were constantly breaking the main branch because they would forget to run local tests. After the team lead enforced pre-commit hooks that required both formatting and test passage, they saw build failures in their CI pipeline drop by 95%. That saved the team 40 engineering hours per week that were previously spent fixing broken builds. That is the power of automated gating. When should you actually use hooks? First, use them to enforce team-wide standards. If every developer runs the same linting and testing suite before a commit, your code review process becomes cleaner. Second, use them to block sensitive credentials like AWS keys from being committed. However, do not use hooks for long-running processes that take 10 minutes to finish, as this kills developer productivity. And remember, local hooks are not a security barrier. A developer can always bypass them with a --no verify flag, so always keep your primary security gates on the server side. Use these criteria to decide if this tool is right for your situation. Let's recap what we have learned. First, Git hooks are automated checkpoints for your commits and pushes. Second, always verify your scripts are executable with the change mode command. Third, speed is critical. If your hooks take too long, developers will stop using them. Fourth, remember that local hooks are for developer convenience, while server-side hooks are for true security. Finally, automating your test execution within these hooks is one of the highest impact changes you can make for your team's build stability. These are the core concepts to carry forward from this video. I believe this video will definitely be a useful video. If you like the video, please do like and hype the video. Also share it with your friends and groups. It may be useful to somebody else. If you have any doubts or any requests, please let me know in the comments. Make sure you have subscribed to stay updated for our regular videos. Join our WhatsApp community using the link in the description because we share more knowledgeable content every day. Thank you for watching. See you soon in the next video.